Hello, friends. It's day 27 in the 30-day series of celebrating you. Um, I think you guys know what I'm talking about already. It's day 27, so I'll just get into it. Um, so my entry for today is not necessarily a singular moment, but a realization over time that I can get down with. Um, looking back, I, uh, I like the transition that's going on. So what I'm talking about is the way I've noticed the shift over time um, regarding the way I see people. And I'm not necessarily talking about the woo woo and all that stuff, but um, it's about the way I see people and not the labels or limitations that are put on people by society. Um, so what I'm talking about is I heard this um, a long time ago, and then I heard it again yesterday. Um, I just he- I was watching a video and somebody said that we don't see things for what they are. We see things as who we are. And I remember hearing that long, long time ago. My mom told it to me um, a few different times, and then I heard it again yesterday, and it just started bringing back like all of these memories and got me thinking again. Um, we put labels on people to like define them, and it helps us make sense of, I don't want to say who they are, um, because I think people are more than one moment or more than one characterization. So like, here's a for instance. So like, I had an uncle. Um, I say had because he's um, no longer in the physical. But I had an uncle who, when he was a kid, he never spoke. He was always quiet, and he would like mumble or grunt. This is what I was told um, by a few different people. So, you know, my dad was a great storyteller. Um, I think he was Mother Goose, but I guess it was confirmed by other people in the family. So I'm running with it. But I had an uncle who never spoke. When he was young, he like mumbled and grunted, and pretty much that was the extent of it. And so the the state tried to take him away from my grandmother because they said he's retarded. And I don't like to use that word, but I'm just for the story. That's what they called him, or that's the label that they put on him. And my grandmother refused. She said, "You're not taking my kid. I don't care what you call him, but he's my son and he's staying with me." And all I know is like something changed, and all of a sudden he started talking, and he became a regular human being. But and I, even that sounds kind of weird to say it like a regular human being, but I mean, he functioned normally, or he functioned just as everybody else did. He was in he got married, he had kids, he joined the service, he served his country. Um, he worked, retired, and had a great life. No issues, really. Um, but it's just interesting that, you know, they said that he was mentally defect or he was of mental defect. And that's a label that they put on him by calling him retarded. Um, another, you know, I know young people that have, they have trouble focusing. I'm trying to avoid all these labels and stuff because it just doesn't feel right anymore to say like, oh, this kid has ADHD. We need to give him pills because he's not like us. And I think that's the shift is not holding everybody to have to be like us or what is us because I've said it a few times on here that I had problems like learning by reading and I struggled in school. And does that make me different? Maybe to some, and but not to others. There's other people just like me, or they have a harder time, right? But if I got diagnosed with a problem, then I become that problem. But if I don't see a problem, then is there a problem? And I guess that's the way that was the shift in me was, over time, removing labels, like seeing people by color or by a perceived disability, by society. And I don't think people are mean spirited in nature. It's just there's a need to define people right away so that like we understand who they are, where they're coming from, or what they've been through, and we have to do it immediately. So we have like these labels like, oh, that that kid has ADHD, or he's a high functioning autistic kid, or he's gay and she's trans, and all that, the black kid or the Asian kid. We have to do these things to put people in a box. But it's like, I guess what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of that box. And instead of defining people by a limitation, I look at it. I'm not going to say I do this for everybody, but I'm like evolving into, trying to see people for a success or an accomplishment or a special ability. So like, I was talking about like, oh, the kid that can't stay still or can't focus, that's perceived as a disability. But I think, when I think about it, I'm like, wow, what if I had that much energy to do stuff, right? And so, I don't I hope I don't offend anybody by this video with like some of the words that I've said, or I don't mean to, if you're somebody that's struggling with something, I don't mean to like discredit that or make light of it, or, you know, make it seem like what your struggle isn't real. But I think just for myself in this moment right now, I'm seeing things as a special ability. So like the person that has, the hard time focusing, like I think that's a gift because they don't get stuck. Like if the person that can't stay focused on something is really good at releasing or moving on to the next moment, where we hold on to stuff and we can't let go. Like, oh, you're still processing that? Like that was 2 days ago. I've moved on. Like 30 seconds later. Like that's an ability. That's a gift, right? To be able to do that. Like some of us are still struggling, you know, in life with the concept of letting go um, and moving on from things. I think it's an ability. And instead of like looking at people like that, like, oh, you're not like me, so you're different. No, you're not like me, so you're special. Um, yeah, so I mean, there's a there's just a couple of people in my life that because they're younger and stuff like that, and they didn't ask to be on this video. I don't want to say their names or anything like that, but there's some younger people in my life where I see that where, like they have they have a hard time focusing. They have to like in class they're allowed to like go run before the class starts to like burn off some energy so that they can focus. And I'm thinking, wow, if I had energy to burn, imagine what I could accomplish. Like when this person gets focused on something, they could really like um accomplish a lot of stuff since they have so much energy, right? Once it's channeled into something that they're passionate about, wow, the sky would be the limit then, right? Or the person that doesn't hold on to things because their focus is short, then that would mean I would hold on to nothing, and then I wouldn't be bitter about anything, right? And so it's just I guess I'll bring this back in and wrap it up, but it's just the way that my evolution of the way I'm choosing to see people, um, I guess is no longer limiting. Is that a word? Limit? Yeah, limit or negative. And I don't want to put labels on people anymore. I just I would rather see people for a gift. You know, oh, a gift that makes them unique. We'll say. So for those kids that struggle with something, I would just I see you differently. You know, for everybody. I'm trying. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm proud of, I guess, is the shift of, breaking away from what I was taught from, society. And I'm not saying that society's messed up or anything like that. It's just the evolution. I see it as just the evolution of time. Um, you know, my parents, are from like the 60s and stuff like that, and things were different back then. And then when I grew up in like the 80s and 90s, things were different then, and now, in the 2000s and, 2020s where we're at now, things are still different. Things are always evolving. So I wouldn't say like society sucks or they're bad, but sometimes maybe we get stuck, in certain eras or with certain beliefs that are old and that haven't, transformed. um I think that's okay. People are like we are where we are. We're And as long as we stay open to evolution and transformation, then we can get to where everybody else is, or where we need to get. Maybe I should say where we need to get to. And I think this is one of my evolutions of not seeing people by a definition that society placed on them, but I'm choosing to see people for something that would make them special and unique. So I'll end it there. Day 27. I'm proud of my evolution of the way I see people. Share yours in the comments. If you don't have one, that's okay. Maybe just slap an emoji. Um, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Um, remember, in closing, in order to eat the fruit from the tree, sometimes you have to go out on a limb. So embrace your fears. It's a good thing. See you guys.